Hi guys, I'm just doing a bit of a test with my ring lights. I can't actually see what the camera is seeing apart from on my computer. So just bear with me because there was no other way that I could practice this other than just do it here in the moment with you guys, because I basically wanted to write on the whiteboard tonight. And I figured that obviously we had our back to front whiteboard incident on day one, and I was determined to get this right. So let's just see if we can see this. I think it works, right? It works. So basically I've instead of having it on selfie mode, I've turned the camera around on not selfie mode. So yeah, maybe I'll turn it around because it's weird just talking to the back of my phone. So I'm going to keep looking at my computer screen so that I can actually see your comments. It works. Okay, amazing. Right, let's rub this out. I'm not going to spend loads of time writing on the whiteboard, but I just thought it would be good. I'm a magician. I know. I was looking at the whiteboard. I was like, I'm not going to get beaten by this whiteboard. I want to write on the whiteboard. Okay, right. So tonight. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to focus on the loop between content, growth, and your time. Okay, so we were obviously always going to do a bit of social media training. This is definitely going to be social media training. It's going to be all about content in particular, and content and how that impacts your growth and also time. Because one of the biggest things that I saw on the questions that you asked when you came into the Facebook group, one of the biggest things that came up was the lack of time that you have. So this is what we are going to focus on this evening. Let me just move this so you can see. Okay, so this is what we're going to focus on this evening. Tell me in the comments if you... So, I know, let's do this. If you struggle with content the most, put a 1. If you struggle with time the most, put a 2. And if you struggle with both, put a 3. So I can see where you guys are at. Sorry. 5. There was no 5. Okay, 3. We've got lots of 3s coming up. We've got lots of 3s. Okay, perfect. So I'm hoping that tonight you're going to get more of a solution as to what actually is going on. 1, with your time, the problems with time that you're facing, and 2, what's going on with the problems of content that you're facing, okay? Because not knowing what content to post and then equally not having time to create content, it's all interlinked. And growth is thrown in there as well, which is why we have this loop, because this is literally a cycle that you're probably all going through, and everyone is going through really on social media. And I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain content. We're going to talk about content ideas right at the end. And I've also got the competition winners to announce right at the end as well. But we will go through some content ideas more towards the end. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to put a bit of like a psychology spin on social media. And this is something that I honestly don't see anyone talking about. And like, it's the absolute fundamentals of success on social media. So you're going to get that today. So that's good, right? That's good. So make sure you have your notepads. Do you have your notepads? Do you have your pens ready? This just feels weird. This just feels weird. So I'm gonna try and be my normal self, because like I keep looking down at my screen and seeing everyone's comments, and that's what I'm used to seeing. Llama's at the ready. Yeah, okay, yeah, perfect. Right. Let's go. Pen and paper's at the ready. Oh, what, my goodness. My tabs have moved. Okay, so not knowing what to post, not having time to post, and not growing followers. This is a common problem that we see. Okay, and you literally have to, in life, you literally have to do, and you will only do the things that you make time to do. And you have two things, okay? So you've got the things that you have to do in life, okay? You will make time for those things. These are the things that you will make time for. And all the things in life, and all the things that you have to do in life, you can only fit so many of them in, okay? And some of them are the things that you have to do, okay? You have to eat. You have to look after your family. You have to work. You have to go to school or uni. You have to look after your pet. You have to look after your horse. These are all the things in life that are non-negotiable and you have to do. So you have to make the time for them, okay? So once you've filled your time with those things, the second thing are things that get you obvious and quick and clear results. Okay, so you make time for two things in life. One, the first things that you make time for are the things that you have to do, non-negotiables you have to do to survive and keep other people alive as well. You have to make time for them. Then you're left with the rest of the time in your life, and you will literally only focus on the things that get you results. You will fill the rest of your time with things that give you quick results. Okay? And that is called instant gratification. Instant gratification. Okay? Does anyone know what instant gratification is? It doesn't matter if you don't, because I'm going to tell you anyway. Okay? Did I explain that okay? I'm getting very distracted with this phone. I might turn it around in the middle of this session. Okay, so some of you are saying yes, that you know what it is. I'll explain anyway. And if I repeat myself, I'm sorry. I just don't know if I've explained like this first part of this in exactly the way I wanted it to, but we're talking about what you're filling your time with and why you don't have time. Okay, so you have to keep things alive. You have to feed yourself. You have to go to work. And then you're filling the rest of your time with other things. Okay, and that's why you're saying, I don't have any time. Like, I have no time in my life. And it's because you're filling your time, all those little gaps, with things that give you instant gratification. And instant gratification is when you choose to spend your time doing something that gives you a quick win or a quick boost of happiness. rather than doing something that is maybe less enjoyable in the short term, but it's going to give you better results in the long term. Okay, so basically that is your social media. Like, let's be real, that is your social media. So you might avoid creating content, and we're going back to this unconscious thing where actually, like, you don't know you're doing it, and some of you will be like, actually, yeah, you know, being really honest with myself, I do avoid it. I do avoid creating content where I can, because I find it hard. And some of you will be like, no, I don't avoid it, I just don't have time. Like, I don't have time, and it's about your level of awareness as a person. But you might avoid making content because you don't know what content you should be creating, and it doesn't therefore give you instant gratification, so a short-term win. So therefore, you would rather go and do something else in your life, which is fine, depending on what you want to achieve. You might decide to go and do something else in your life instead of doing that thing that is going to give you the long-term result that you want. Okay? And that is content, and that is social media, unfortunately. But we'll go on to that in a minute. You might... What else? You might choose to go and do something that gives you like a really quick win. So it might be that you try and you think like, I'm going to create a piece of content. I'm going to go and just find a viral audio. And, you know, doing this is also fine. But if you're doing this again and again and it's quite like meaningless, like it will only get you so far on social media. So you might think like, I need to make some content, easiest way to do it, go and find a viral audio. You know, like the tips that I share, go and find one of Cher's viral audios, use a video in my camera roll, stick it on Instagram, box ticked, instant gratification, I've done my content. Quick win, yay. Whereas actually doing it the other way and being like, right, what content do I need to create in order to get a specific result, and actually putting the time and energy into it in order to get a better long-term result is always going to give you a better long-term result. Whereas like just doing the short, quick wins, you will always get the short burst of happiness, but it will never ever last. And it's massive, massive downfall that I see on social media for everyone, most people. Not just anyone who is guilty of not spending the time on it, okay? And even if you knew how to make good content, so even if I told you today, like, what content is good content, you might still avoid doing it. And you might still avoid making that content, even though you know what content works for you and you know what content is good for you. You might avoid it because actually it feels like too much hard work, and you are filling your time with other things that are quicker, easier, simpler, and give you that good old boost of instant gratification that your mind is looking for. Okay? So I haven't read any of the comments. This light's very bright today, isn't it? My lights that I've got on myself. Let me read these comments that you guys have been doing and saying. Yeah, so Pascal said is what we thrive off in society. Need to get away from it, yes. Sonia, I love creating content, not always sure what to post, and when I do post, I worry about being judged. Yeah, when we can work on that. Obviously, you're in the members club now, Sonia, and that's going to be just a process that you're going to go through. And honestly, you being inside the members club, and if you can get to some of the live sessions with us, you will disappear. Because I think one of the biggest bits of feedback I get from the members club is that it's confidence that people get, and they start not caring about what other people think of them. And honestly, isn't that the ultimate real goal, like, out of everything in life? Like, that's the most important thing. And that is what a lot of people get in the members club as well. So I'm glad that we'll be able to support you with that, Sonia. Don't let the fear control you. Yeah, absolutely, Pascal. Those who judge are not your ideal followers. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I feel like sometimes I'll spend a long time creating a reel, for example, but I find I still don't get the results I want. I worry that I'm just not posting interesting enough content. That's fine, because we're going to talk about that in a bit. So I think that's fine. If that's how you feel right now, I'm hoping that by the end of this session, you will get a bit more clarity on that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, so videos that are posted as reels, I would always do them in portrait, so long ways. Once I'd done my first speaking story, it gave me confidence, which I did not expect. Absolutely. And that is, again, something that so many people come into the members club, they've never ever shown their face on social media or on Instagram stories, and then they realize that they come into the members club, they have the support, and once they do it, it's like a switch. Like, it's still hard. Like, sometimes I will film my Instagram story, chatty stories, like 3 times, but you just don't see that. You probably just assume that I'll just slap it out and it's done. No, like, absolutely not. Like, I'll fumble my words, I'll film it, I'll like criticize myself a little bit, I'll film it again. So I think it's also about understanding that, like, we compare ourselves to others so much, and we actually don't know what other people are even going through. And someone said something to me the other day that was like incredible, and I don't want to butcher it, but it was like, if thoughts, like your thoughts and opinions, are meaningless if you have nothing to compare it to. Does that make sense? So it's like, you might think something about yourself that's negative, but actually, if you didn't have an opinion on everyone else, that thought all of a sudden has no substance, because you are literally just comparing all of the time. And it's like, you know, let's go back to day one when we talked about success. If you sat there and kind of said, you know, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not successful, I'm not like hitting the lifestyle that I expected to be hit and living by now, that actually only has meaning when you are comparing yourself to other people, whether you are aware of it or not. If you took every single person away from this world, how would you know what success is? Like, you wouldn't. So it's like, it's so mind-blowing when you break it down and think, actually, every single opinion about myself or other people is based on comparison. So really keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay, so where were we? We went off on a tangent, but that is fine. Okay, so I was saying that even if you knew how to make really good content, if you knew what really worked, you would still maybe not do it, because you would still be filling your time with other things that give you that instant gratification boost that we are all seeking in our life. Okay, so this is coming down to a problem, a fundamental problem that us in society have, and it's everyone. It's not just you or the person next to you. It's every single person who has been taught that social media is quick, and that social media is a quick win. They see posts from big accounts that look like they have had overnight success. They see accounts that have 100,000 followers, maybe even just 10k followers, and it looks like that happened overnight with minimal effort. They get sold the dream that it can be really quick. They get sold the dream that growing your followers is really easy. They see like lots of influencer accounts blow up and lots of these viral accounts like doing viral audios and social media, teaching social media tricks. They see people like that blow up and they think that's how, and you guys think that's how it happens. And honestly, it's not. Like, I know that is savage, but this is a long game, not a short game. And I think once you become okay with that, then the pressure starts being released from you. And then all of a sudden things become easier, because again, a bit like day one, and this is why we started with day one, is that when you're putting so much pressure on something, like think a bit like a rope or something, and you're pulling and pulling and pulling. Actually, I'll tell you what, it's a bit like a Chinese finger trap. Have you seen them? You put your finger in them, and if you pull and pull and pull really hard, the trap just gets tighter and tighter and tighter. There's so much pressure, there's so much resistance. The minute you relax, you can take your fingers out of the trap. And that is the biggest metaphor for every single thing in life, including your social media. You can become so like forceful onto the end result. But remember on day one, what is the end result anyway? Like, what do we think is going to happen when we hit 10k followers, 100k followers? Like, what do we think is going to happen? Do we think that we are going to feel better in ourselves? Because you won't. Because again, just like day one, when you're trying to hit those goals and you get there, it's like, oh, amazing. This doesn't feel as good as I thought it would. What's the next goal? Because I'm still trying to find that happiness that I'm seeking. And I'm looking in the wrong place because it should be coming from inside. So I think your social media, and I put a post up today on my reels, did you see? And one, it's like I can't remember, like the 3 most underrated things. And I said that one of them was a small and targeted following, because it's one of the best things you can have. Honestly, it is. It really is. There's nothing worse than having loads and loads of followers that never see your content. Okay, so it's a long game. Don't get sold the dream of a quick win. Don't get sold the dream of you can blow up your account in 30 days. Some people do, but you never, ever, ever see the stuff that went on behind the scenes. You never see the stuff that went on behind the scenes. And I will bring Karzan up again. You guys know how much I really, truly love Karzan. Part of the members club, really, really valued member in the members club. I mean, everyone is, but he really has given an example of like, everyone thinks he blew up. Everyone thinks, because he actually started in the members club at 2k followers, and now he has 60k followers in a year. And everyone thinks that he blew up. Everyone thinks that it was quick and simple and easy, but no one saw the work that went on behind the scenes for him to actually have that level of growth. Like, he had to really, really put a lot of effort and time, and he had no clue how long it was going to take. So this is why I'm really teaching you guys tonight, before we go into like the actual content stuff, that this is a long-term game, and when you take the pressure off and you release the pressure, you'll get faster results. Bit like I said the other night, it's quantum leaping we're putting pressure and resistance on something, you're not having room to energetically grow and leap. Whereas if you just release, things will just flow in a lot faster. Now, you've got to commit to the journey. So Kazan did not know that what he was going to do and create was going to get him very quick growth. But he was committed to the long-term journey. He was committed to having it take 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. He didn't know. He didn't know. No one knows. None of us know. None of us know what's around the social media corner. But the fact is, you have to commit, like, right, this is short-term pain for long-term gain. Do you know what you want to get out of your social media account right now? Maybe you don't. But as long as you have the idea, like if you're a business, you know what you want to get. You want to get sales, so that's fine. If you're a creator, you might not ultimately know what you want. You might want to work with some brands right now, but in a year's time, that might not satisfy you. So it doesn't matter what you want really, as long as you know that one day, like when you have an audience and a community, you can pretty much do anything. And I said that. Did I say that last night? I can't remember. But honestly, like, it doesn't matter if you don't quite know what you want to do yet. Because Kazan didn't know that he wanted to set up a business when he started, and that's the beauty. He started at 2K followers thinking that he wanted to work with brands. And then a year later, he has his own business, and I'm sure he's going to go on and make hundreds of thousands of pounds, like, because he can. And that's the beauty. Like, none of us or you guys know what you can achieve in a year, what you might achieve in 5 years, but are you committed to the short-term pain now in order to get those long-term results? Because honestly, the fact of the matter is, if you take my advice, if you do it consistently and you stick at it long enough, you will get to wherever you want to go, because it's inevitable. Success is inevitable. The problem is people quit and people stop too early. And I said this time and time again to everyone who I ever know and meet, that if you are in some kind of business or you are growing on social media, it is a game of mindset, strength, and resilience. The strategy comes out of it. The strategy comes out of it because in the end, it becomes a game of mental strength. Who is committed to staying in the game long enough, even when they're not getting the results they want to get? Because people give up. And if you kept going for 2 years, taking my advice and doing it even when it feels like it didn't work, you will really get good results. It's just that people quit before then. And that's the sad thing. And yeah, like Pascal, I get discouraged way too easy. And that, again, it's that instant gratification and it's that result. Like, it's those results and quick wins. But it's like you're in this loop, remember, because you're thinking, well, I want growth. But then you're not giving yourself time to create the content to get the growth. Do you start to see like how this is all coming about? You want the growth, but you don't have the time to create the content. You've got the time to create the content to get the growth, but you're choosing to fill it with something that gives you instant gratification. Now, I'm not saying that you need to burn yourself out over this, and I'm not saying that you need to like stop all of your fun or stop watching Netflix and stuff like that. Like, you don't. You absolutely don't. You just need to understand, like, we're going to talk a little bit about time management at the end, but it's more about committing to that long term. Like, you will not grow if you don't create content. Okay, if you do not create content, you will not grow. Everyone wants growth, but not everyone will commit to create content. And that's completely fundamentally like the massive problem, is that people want growth. They're not prepared to put in the work that's required for the content, the work that's required for the content actually won't take you that long in the long term. It's just, again, it's that short-term pain because people aren't prepared to put in the short-term pain to do the figuring out and feel the failures because they think it's failure if their reel doesn't work. It's never, it's just an experiment. And this is a mindset as well that I want you all to adopt. Like, your content is an experiment and it's never, my content failed, my content flopped, okay? Your content is an experiment. Every single time you post, it's an experiment. And once you start adopting that mindset, all of a sudden, it becomes a scientific experiment on your social media, and the pressure, again, it's that pressure you're putting on yourself, it's released. The pressure has released, okay? So your content is always an experiment. Nobody knows what works. I'm going to tell you from a psychology perspective what works on social media, and it will change the game for you. But seriously, no one knows what works. And do you know why? Because every single page has a different set of audience members. So there will never be one rule that just works. And this is why you taking the time to figure out your content. I still have to figure out my content every time I post. It's a test. I know the style, I know kind of what works, but what worked last year doesn't work now. Do I know what works now? A little bit, but I'm still testing. I'm the expert. So when you know that, you're not expected to know, and you'll never know. But you've got to experiment and you've got to keep pushing through to get the growth. And when you get the growth, guys, you will find the time. This is as well like the missing key that is in this loop that people get caught in. Once they make the content and they get the growth, they make the time and they find the time in their week. Nothing's changed in their life. They're starting to get instant gratification from content. So then they're more likely to make content. So then this loop becomes a really positive loop instead of being a negative loop. But you've got to break that cycle and commit to the short-term pain for the long-term gain, to do your content. Make sure you are actually putting enough effort into your content in order to get the growth, in order to make more time for yourself, to enjoy the content, and then all of a sudden we all blow up and it's amazing, okay? So, my question to you is, I haven't been reading the comments so much because I have just been like completely, I've been, whoa, on my absolute mission tonight to get this out to you and to make it powerful, a powerful last session. So I'm sorry I'm not reading the comments as much, but I love to see you all chatting together. Like, that makes me so happy. And make sure you all follow each other as well, because that would be really nice. So my question for you guys is that if you knew that in 3 years' time you would hit your ultimate goal, so the thing that you ultimately want to achieve, and there was 100% no risk of failing, would you do the work that's required now? Okay, so this is a question I'm asking you. Put in the comments if you can. I'll just repeat it. If you knew that in 3 years' time you would hit your ultimate goal and the thing that you really want to achieve, and there was 100% no risk of you failing, would you do the work that's required now? Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And honestly, this was such a light bulb moment for me the other day. And my partner, Doug, he is a mindset coach. NLP timeline therapist, breathwork facilitator, limiting beliefs coach. He's a law of attraction certified coach. He is amazing. So he asked me this, and he is actually going to be coming into the members club and providing courses and trainings for free for everyone in the members club, going directly uploaded into the members lounge. So that's going to be amazing. And I think so. Haley knows Doug. Haley's had a session with Doug. So he is going to be creating classes as well into the members club. So you are going to get a certified coach with all the good stuff as well in there for you guys that are going to come in and join, and those of you who have. So that's going to be amazing. So he asked me this. He was like, what I've just asked you, if you knew that in 3 years time you would hit your goal and there was no risk of failing, would you do the work that is required of you now? And I said yes. You're already saying yes. And honestly, if you do the work as if there was no chance of failing, you will hit your goal. I'm telling you now. And that's why it comes down to a place of who's got the greatest resilience to stay in the game. And again, I think I put this on my story. Some of you might have seen it. Really, that's the mindset that you've got to adopt. And that's what I want you to do now. Just like I've been saying today, release the pressure. Release the pressure. When you release the pressure and you think, okay, I've got to deal with the universe. In 3 years' time, I'm going to hit my goal. I'll just do the work. Because it's a done deal. And honestly, that is the mindset that we are now adopting. Okay? So if one of your goals is to grow on social media, in 3 years' time, you can have exponential growth in a year. You can have colossal growth in 3 years, but you've got to do it, and you've got to be consistent, and you've got to test and experiment to find out what actually works for you. Because this, my people, is the one thing that will help you grow. The one thing that will help you grow. But it's the one thing no one wants to do. I know that's so savage. And I'm telling you, even I do not like doing it. I fucking hate filming content. I hate it. I don't enjoy it at all. And I think, God, there are things that I could be doing that feels way more important than this. But then I have to remind myself that if I don't create content, I don't have business. Then it becomes like, okay, this is far more valuable. And this is for you guys as well. Like, you might hate creating content like I do. Like, none of us probably like it. But if you don't do that, you won't get to the goal that you want to reach. You won't get to the goal you want to reach. Unlikely. Unless your goal is like something else that's not social media related, then you might. But but you'll want this. You'll want this if your goal is a business or something business related, or working with brands, or setting up a business, or having 500,000 YouTube subscribers. Like, you will not get anywhere without this one thing. So we must make the time for it to get the growth, okay? I feel really guilty for using the F word, and honestly, when I'm not on camera, the F word is every second word. I'm just conscious that some of you have kids, and I don't want them to be like listening, because that's happened once, and I felt really guilty. Okay, so I'll just answer, Sonia, your question quickly. How often should you be posting? And, you know, if you want to grow, you got to post every day. But you don't have to post every day. But I would recommend you post every day. But you know, the most important place where you should be posting is your stories. Your stories and most people focus on the feed. It's the stories that is your gold, okay? Your stories are your gold. So if you can only post in your feed 3 to 4 times a week, then do. If that means it frees up more time for you to post to your stories. Repurposing old content is perfect if your old content has worked, okay? If your old content has proved to work, you've got to repurpose it, because it's about working smarter and not harder. Okay? What did I say? Oh no. Karina, what did I say? Okay, so he wants to know the psychological, I don't know if I like my hair this evening, but never mind. At least for my problems with this big shiny face I've got tonight. Post on stories every day, only 2 to 3 days on your grid. Okay, I would probably up that on your grid and try and maintain the stories now, like as an up level for you. That's what I would probably do, because it's the stories are 100% key. We still want the grid stuff, because really the grid stuff is still going to help bring more people to your stories. And the grid stuff is going to help you get discovered. Your stories won't. But yeah, like they're kind of like two partners. You need them both, but your story is like the person who wears the trousers, you know? That's just, I just thought that on the spot. Okay, right. So the psychological viewpoint of social media, okay? When you are thinking about social media, it's not anymore a game of social media and posting and trying to grow and trying to think of what to post and all of this black and white stuff. Like, it's not that, okay? Social media is about understanding people. And this is why I think I have this natural thing with social media, because I have a good understanding of people. Okay, so once you understand people, you understand social media, because social media is people. And I think that's the thing that we detach, and it is the most oneness thing there ever was. We think social media is a platform. We think social media is content, an app. Social media is people, a group of people. So if you can start to understand what captures the attention of people, if you can understand what captures the attention of the human race, you will win on social media. And I'm going to tell you one massive thing about social media and people. People, the human race, is very, very selfish, okay? Not in a bad way, but as humans, we are the center of our own world. Each of us here, even if you have a child, whatever, each of you here, you are the center of your universe. You are the center of your world. You are the most important thing in the world to you. And everything revolves back to you. Every single thing you see comes back to you, revolves back to you, because that's how our minds are programmed. We're the center of our own world. So on social media, and this is so key, I cannot stress this enough, this is just going to be the thing that changes the game for you. When someone is making content only about themselves, they will never win on social media, because they are playing the me game. You've got to switch it, okay? You've got to switch it. And it's always got to be about the other person, the person on the receiving end of your content, because 90% of people create content from a I perspective. This is me, this is my life, this is me riding my horse, this is my business, these are my products, this is what I'm selling. And they're operating from a place of, I'm the center of my own world, which is fine because we all are. I'm the center of my own world. This is me. You should be interested in this. You should be interested in that. Why are you not looking? And actually, if we switch it and we're like, how are you today? This might help you. Or like, I understand you are in this situation and you are feeling this way and you might need this support, and I'll give this to you so that I can help you and improve you and your life. And all of a sudden you flip the script, okay? And there's a really good saying, and it sums this up so well, and it's that there's two people in life. There are people that they will come into a room at a party, a room full of people, and they will say, here I am. And then there is another type of person who will go into the room full of people and say, here you are. Okay, so there's two types of people. And on social media, you've always got to be the person that's saying, here you are. I'm so pleased to see you. Rather than, here I am, look at me. Okay, so you like, this is the key. Like, I cannot express this to you enough. This is the key. And when you start to look at the big accounts, you will start to see that it's probably because they have made content about others rather than themselves. And there are lots of twists and turns with this, and there are lots of like different like spins on this, because you might look at some accounts and be like, well, that girl has got 1 million or like 6 million on TikTok and all the content seems to be about her. You might think. But it's clever because you see people like that, and actually from a psychological perspective, it's not about them. It's about putting confidence in someone else. So there's so many different routes that we can go down. I will talk you through some of them tonight that you can start to use to spin so that you're making content about someone else, so that you can start using this psychology to grow. And that's all it's going to take, is this simple psychology of understanding humans, understanding how they operate, and then feeding people's ego basically. And and none of this is in a negative way, because we're all equal and we're all the same, and we all have these human traits because we're all human. But it's about learning how to work with that and manipulate that. And yeah, okay, so you feel like all my content is about me because I'm sharing about how myself and my horse are getting on. That's fine. We're gonna cover that, because all it takes sometimes is a tweak. Honestly, one tweak. So you have content that's about your journey, and all of a sudden you are now thinking, fuck, like all my content's about me and my journey. It's not. And this simple mindset tweak that you now have, you will start to post content about you and your journey from a perspective that's going to support someone else on their journey. Okay? We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay? So I want you to think about when you follow a new page. So you decide to follow a new page, usually it's because of their content. Okay? Because unless it's a friend, but say you come across an Instagram page, you scroll through their content, you kind of have a look at what they're posting, and for whatever reason, you click that follow button. And the reason you click that follow button is because their page relates back to you in some way, whether you're aware of it or not. Now you're going to be far more aware of this. So when you follow a page, it's because maybe you're going to take inspiration from that page for your own content. Maybe that page is giving you free tips like mine. Maybe that page and this will relate to a lot of you, is sharing a journey that relates to something that you're currently going through. Okay, so even if you are a creator right now and you are thinking, just like I just said, fuck, like I've been making content all about me and what do I do now? But it's not about that. Now you spin it, it's still, the content is about you, but you're coming from a perspective of, I'm sharing my journey with you so that I can help anyone who's going through the same right now. Okay? So that's how all of a sudden you can share, you can grow on social media massively by sharing your perspective on something that you're going through in order to help someone else who's going through the same thing. So you're spinning it all the time. Like, yes, it's your journey, but it's about someone else. Same with your business. Yes, it's your business. You want to make sales, but you're going to put it in the perspective of someone else. You're going to spin it in a way where you're actually putting yourself into someone else's life and helping them. Okay? So everything comes back to them and not you. All right? Everything relates back to your followers. I'm going to just read through the comments. So many comments. I'm not going to read through all of them because I'll be here all night. Winnie said, I recently reached out to a business after they followed me and they asked me to write a blog for them. And I was shocked that they found my account. That's amazing. That's fantastic. That's so good. I love that. There's lots of replying to each other going on, so I'll just assume that you guys are all good. But let me know if this is okay. It's mostly about lasagna. I know. I was reading the lasagna. I thought I'm not even going to try and understand this. So, yeah, that's amazing, Winnie. And to be honest, like, that's just the start. That's just the start, because if you can do that and you can get there, then you can do that again and again and again. So how is this feeling right now? I know that, again, we have filled up lots of time and I thought this was going to be a half an hour thing, and it's not, I'm sorry. But how is this feeling to you right now? We're going to go through some content ideas now. Are there words that you would avoid in your caption or add in? Okay, so caption, the only thing really to think about, a couple of things actually, three things that are very important for captions. I've gone from nothing to three things, but three things. You have to always have a hook. Okay, always try and have a hook in your first line of your caption. And a hook is something that makes someone stop the scroll. It sparks curiosity. It sparks intrigue. That's point one. Point two, your captions are searchable and nobody knows that. Your captions are searchable. So if you're a business especially, think about search terms that relate to your product. So if you sell riding tights, if you are a life coach, someone on Instagram is likely using the search bar riding tights, black riding tights, black and white riding leggings, equestrian life coach, equestrian trauma coach. You know, people are using it like Google. So if your captions are searchable, think about search terms that people are searching for and intertwine them in your captions. Okay, look, like, I don't always do it because it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about trying to put keywords in your captions all the time. But sometimes you can drop a keyword in that or a key phrase and Your content will live for 2 years. I was testing this out last year, and I was finding pieces of content that were 2 years old. So all of a sudden, as well, this is a mindset shift that I want you to remember, is that you think you're making content that's gonna last 24 hours and then it's gone, but you're not. Your content could last for years. So it's like, it deserves the time. It deserves the time. Do I think hashtags or captions are more important for searches? I think hashtags, look, I'm like not a massive user of hashtags. I don't use hashtags on my reels. I just don't. I use them on my static posts, and I'll only use a few. And I will only use hashtags, just like Pascal said. I was today years old when I figured I could follow hashtags, okay? So people follow hashtags like they follow people. So if you can identify what hashtags your ideal follower is following, use those hashtags and you'll always get better results. Because people don't use hashtags and think about, is someone following this or not? They just bang a hashtag on. Whereas actually when you use a hashtag, you need to think, is someone going to be following this hashtag? Would I follow this hashtag? Is this a useful, valuable hashtag that's going to be bringing someone useful, valuable content? Remember the psychology that everyone needs and is looking for things that are about them because they're the center of their own world. So when you are in that perspective 100%, when you're using social media, you're like, okay, hashtags. What hashtag would my ideal follower be following in order to give them value in their life? And when you can start to think like that, you'll start to actually use hashtags that give you good results. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm glad you are enjoying this. We will push on. So how do we create, I don't know if I'm going to be able to write all this down. I mean, this was a bit of a waste of time on the whiteboard, wasn't it? Because this is all I wrote. I've got some points here. Let's see how we get on. How do we create content with a focus on the follower rather than you? Okay, so I'm going to cover this for anyone and everyone who I believe is here. So I'm going to cover ideas for aspiring influencers who want to work with brands. I'm going to cover ideas for content creators who maybe aren't sure if they want to work with a brand. They don't really know what to do. They just know that they would quite like to grow a platform. Maybe they want to build a community. Okay, that's a category. A service-based business. I will give you some content ideas, and a product-based business, I will give you content ideas. There's hashtag conversations going on. Yeah, don't use overused hashtags. And that's what I mean by, what are people following? No one is following hashtag horse. No one is following hashtag love. That's just not, are they? Someone will follow dressage riders of Instagram. Someone will follow equestrian fashion. Someone will follow hashtag chestnut mares. You know, because these are like sub communities on Instagram. So when you start thinking like that, you'll use specific hashtags that are getting you in front of specific people that are like sub communities, and you'll get better results. If you are a business, so if you're an equestrian business, something I see, a mistake that I see made is that equestrian businesses hashtag equestrian business. And unless your target audience is another equestrian business, you're wasting your time. So I hashtag equestrian business because I'll sell business to business as well as business to influencer or creator. So I'll use that. But if you are a clothing brand, or if you are a coach or something like that, and you're not trying to get in front of other business owners, don't use equestrian business, because not many people are following equestrian business unless they have one. Do you see what I mean? Yes, organizations, exactly. So organizations, communities. But again, your hashtags will not work unless you've got good content. And there's another thing I see is that people will churn out shitty content and then they'll stick some hashtags on it and they'll be like, well, my hashtags don't work. And I'll be like, no, it's your content not working. Don't look at the hashtags because the hashtags won't work unless your content's good enough. Just like everything else, okay? Everything comes back down to this one thing, but it's the one thing no one wants to do. But we'll go through some ideas tonight and hopefully you will have more of a plan so that you can start smashing your content and then you'll get all the things. Okay, so we'll start with aspiring influencers who want to work with brands. I'm gonna go through these super quick because we're short of time. So an aspiring influencer who wants to work with brand, who wants to create content that is now about the follower rather than about them. So if your goal is to work with a brand, you can start creating content that shows your followers brands that you love. Okay, sharing brands that you love, showing your followers product reviews about products that will help them. Okay, this is for you if your horse hates getting wet when you go hacking in the rain. Like, this is for you. I've tested this for you. I've tried this for you. And I can tell you I have given it a 5 out of 5. Blah, blah, blah. This is all for you. See? Then all of a sudden, it's like, instead of you saying, oh, today I tried this new ride-on Rain Mac and Betsy loved it. She went trotting out and we had a fantastic ride and we had such a great time, and normally she hates the rain, but you know, we loved this. Go and get it. Like, that's all about you, right? But whereas saying, well, my horse and me have tried this for you. We wanted to try this to give you the best recommendation. We were the test dummy. We did this for you, blah, 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 blah. It's about the other person, isn't it? It's not about you, and that's how easy it is to spin. Claire said, my 6-year-old son's just fallen asleep listening to your voice. And this is the thing. I'm also available to hire for just that. Because I can talk all your kids to sleep and you will literally just live such a better life. Maybe I should do that as an add-on for the members club. Okay, so what else can we do for an aspiring influencer who wants to work with a brand? Outfit ideas. Again, an outfit idea could be very self-centered, but not anymore with your new mindset, because you are going to start creating content on providing outfit ideas to people who maybe don't know how to put an outfit together. Would be me. I don't know how to put an outfit together. I know. I absolutely should. Should you tag brands every time you wear them, or does it annoy the brand? No, it doesn't annoy the brand. It doesn't annoy the brand. Like, it's free marketing for the brand. Like, whether the brand wants to like repurpose, reuse it, a different story. But yeah, 100%. Yeah, tag. If you want to work with the brand and you want to get noticed with the brand, tag them every time you wear the product, for sure. So Sonia, my signal died. I missed the last comment. So what was it? Show your followers brands that you love. Show your followers product reviews. Show your followers outfit ideas that will help them. Okay, so like petite fashion. Alex is a member of the members club and influencer academy, and she has a fashion account for petite fashion. So all of a sudden she is like the main feature of her page, but other petite girls are getting something from her content. Okay, is that the same? if I'm showing you tag the brand Claire. The brand might not repost it, but if it's a post in the feed, remember when you tag a brand in that post, your content shows up in their tagged images. So all of a sudden you're doubling where your content's showing up in your feed and in their tagged. So yeah, definitely. What else? Yeah, petite is in short. I can't remember her name. That was awful. Alex Curran. She is so cute. I love her. Maybe she's registered for this. Maybe she'll watch it one day and hear her name. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, so it's always worth tagging a brand. Okay, so how do I say this? I really also just, when it comes to like working with the fact that people are really thinking about themselves all the time and trying to help themselves all the time, when you're thinking about that, always just try and remove the energy. Okay, you will have a certain energy about you in all areas of life, but let's just take this example. You will have a certain energy about you when you show up and you are pretending it's about someone else, but really it's just an act and you're trying really hard to grow your followers and it's all about you, and the energy and the vibe you're giving off is that desperation. I'm trying to make it about you, but really it's about me. Like, people pick up on that. Like, we all can read energy. Like, we all have these extra sixth senses that allow us to understand when someone is doing something genuinely and when someone is doing something not. Okay, it's a bit like this event as an example. Okay, the reason I created this event was because I wanted you guys to come into my members club. But the energy I wanted to put into this was not about me getting people into the members club. It was about me giving you as much as I could over 3 days. And I hope that came across. Because I could easily show up and pretend it's about you, but really it's just about me. Like, come and buy the members club. Like, this is really what I'm here for. And I really tried, and I hope that I've brought the energy that is great and that's the reason, but really, like, my main aim was to give as much as I could to you over these few days. Like, so it's the same on social media. Like, are you really trying to give? Are you really trying to help someone else? Or are you putting on this front and you are pretending it's now about someone else when really it's still about you? You know, that might be a process that you go through. Okay, so a content creator is slightly different to an aspiring influencer, because you maybe don't necessarily want to work with the brand. You don't really know what you want to do. You just know you want to grow, you want to have a community, you want to have a presence, and that's also fine. Or it might be that you want to write a blog, a vlog, whatever it is, you just want to create content. Okay, so you can create content that is positioned to help someone else by sharing your journey. Okay, just like we talked about earlier, a journey you've been on, a journey you might currently be on, and your perspective about that journey, your support to someone else who is on the same journey as you, your guidance to someone who's on the same journey as you, the viewpoint of you on that journey. Okay, how you went from A to B. So all of a sudden you might be sharing your journey, but you're sharing it in order to help someone else. Another idea might be a relatable situation. So a relatable situation that you're in. Okay, a relatable situation that you're living through. It might be that you have a family with a 2-year-old. That's a relatable situation. So Laura, like what we talked about last night, that's a relatable situation that you are living in. The content is all about you and your situation, but you're writing it and creating it from a perspective to support and help other people who have a 2-year-old and 2 horses, you know? So all of a sudden you're taking you're using you as the pillar, but you're doing it to build this community of people to help these people. It might be that you are living through a relatable situation if you've got an ex-racehorse and you want to train the racehorse to do dressage. Okay, we see that a lot. But it works, really, sometimes, most of the time, if someone positions it in a way that is like, here's my ex-racehorse, here's my journey to dressage, and here's everything I'm showing and teaching you along the way, because I'm going to help someone who is 2 steps behind me. And just like I said last night, the ego will tell you that you shouldn't be, you're not qualified to give this information, that you don't have the knowledge to give any tips or advice or tricks. You, and a bit of imposter syndrome as well, I guess. Like, oh, people already know this, you don't need to share this. Like, that's what your inner sabotaging voice will be saying to you. But ignore that. You have to get away from that, because if you are going to share a journey of some kind, you can't wait until you're the expert to start sharing the steps. Okay, you have to understand that you don't know everything, and you have to understand that you are further ahead in your journey than someone else is who's 6 months behind you or a year behind you, and they're the people you want to talk to. Okay, so all of a sudden you're creating content about a journey, but you're making it and helping someone else. How about my horse is fat and lazy, let's try and get him to move? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, that could be 100% a journey. Like, if you're doing something and getting a result, share it. Because then you're going to help someone else. Because, look, people don't want to go on Google anymore and search and read through blogs, like, not blogs, but like how-tos. They don't want to read through long things telling you, like, well, how do I lose weight? They don't want to read, like, the latest article. They don't necessarily want to pay someone to come and show them. They would rather find someone on Instagram, connect with them, get to know them, and then get advice from them. Like, what have you done that's worked? It's just like friends. Okay? If you are a service-based business, super easy. So if you're providing a service, what tips can you share? What quick wins can you provide? Just look at my account. It's just free tips, free quick wins. What knowledge can you share? What personal stories can you share as well if you're the person providing the service? Okay, so that's ideas for service-based businesses, how you're actually helping other people. If you're a product-based business, it can feel harder. I know it can. And I'll be really super honest with you now. Product-based businesses, it's harder to grow on social media. It's harder to grow on Instagram, because at the end of the day, you can try your absolute best, but every day you're kind of still selling. And I always say, don't sell in the feed. Don't sell in the feed. Like, it's the worst place you can sell. But really, when you're a product-based business and you're posting about your products, like, there's always going to be a little bit of unengagement there. That's just the way it is. But saying that, you can do things that still help, okay? You can do things that still make the situation better. Building trust is really so hard. It's a long game. And also just remember, like, if you meet a stranger, how long does it take you to trust them? It takes you months, if not years. So I would just literally keep that in mind, that, again, this is the long game. Like, yeah, you might have a really quick result, but you don't know until you start playing the long game and you commit to the long game. Okay? So, why you need X, Y, and Z in your show basket. I love that. How X will change your life. So if you have a jacket, how this jacket will change your life. The hidden pockets in this jacket. The hidden pocket in these riding tights. Like, why you need this in your wardrobe this winter. Here's a full outfit look. How... here's the fabric of our products, and why does this benefit you? Like, why does this outfit benefit you? Why does this jacket benefit you? Who's this jacket ideal for? Who are these riding tights ideal for? Can you create a lifestyle around your products? So this is for product-based business, by the way. I went off on a bit of a tangent. But how can you create a lifestyle around your products that someone might want to buy into, okay? That's a big part of brand building. The design of your product, why you designed it the way you designed it. And go and have a look. If you're a product-based business, go and have a look at Aztec Diamond at the moment, because, which I'm sure you probably already have, but what they're doing is they're showing like the show jackets and their designs. They're showing their designs, but if you look very carefully and listen very carefully, they're positioning it all about the customer. They're not saying we designed this because we love the way that jacket sits. We loved this color. We love this. We. They're saying it. Our customers want this. Our customers want that. We know that our customers live this lifestyle. We know that our customer wants a jacket that feels X, Y, and Z. And they're making it about the person. So all of a sudden, the person, the follower, is looking at the content and thinking, oh, like, this relates to me. Like, they know me so well and it works so well. And the design was like it was made for me. And it's because they've just positioned it differently, and we can all do it. Okay. How to transition from that influencer to the service business. I'm so passionate about my journey and my story, but I want to build my business. Inspiring people isn't bringing in money. Yeah. Okay. So Pascal, that's the key, right? You need to share your journey. You need to start positioning yourself as the expert. Okay, and something that I have just been teaching my group coaching guys, so Haley was in there, was that people will rarely buy from someone who they think has the same level of knowledge as them. Okay, so this really is for like someone like Pascal, who is selling a service. Okay, so someone won't buy from someone they consider who is like a kind of friend zone. Like, you need to position yourself as the expert, so that someone listens and looks at you and to you and thinks, oh, like, she's teaching me things, like she knows more than me and I can learn something from this person. And all of a sudden you've elevated yourself as the expert. Then people are going to start listening. You're not selling, but you're coming in with a more authority and more power behind you. Because if I showed up like an equal and everyone just like, oh, well, I think this is how you do it and maybe this is how we grow and blah, blah, blah. But I don't. I always make sure that I give things that people didn't know, so that you guys will be like, oh, Shan knows what she's talking about and she probably knows more about social media than I do. Therefore, like, I'm going to look up to Cher for advice about social media. And if I kind of came in whispering and being quiet with my message and maybe not sharing like really key information, like, people would just think I didn't really know my stuff. And this is why it's so important when you are giving tips and advice and sharing, you know, your knowledge. Like, you always need to make sure that you have some kind of authority. So if you're going to share your journey, Pascal, like, you know, you have so many stories to share, you always share like the triumph at the end, the triumph. Okay, you never just go, this is what happened to me, this is the trauma that I faced, because of this I now can deal with this and help you. Like, that is kind of like, it's ending on something very neutral. Whereas if you're like, I went through this X, Y, and Z, it was really awful, I had this traumatic experience, but because of that I have now learned X, Y, and Z, and I'm here. You know, I'm up. I am out of the other side. It's a bit like my car accident. You know, like, if I was like, oh, I had a car accident and it was awful and it was really scary, I could have died, the end, people will be like, oh, that's awful. But because I'm like, hey, I had a car accident, it was really bad, a lorry hit me on the motorway, and I literally don't know how I walked out of that car alive. And I took that moment to realize that I could fucking turn my life around and make things better. And I did it. All of a sudden, I've gone from like sad story, hero, everyone's looking up to the hero and they're like, oh my God, that's so motivating, that's so inspiring. She's been through shit and now she's like made something like of her life, and now I can relate because I've been through shit and maybe I can make something of my life too. Like, so that's how you will need to spin it. And anyone really that's so good, I'm so glad. Sorry, that was a big tangent, really big tangent. Winnie, I feel like people get fed up with me because of being I'm disabled and I like horses. No, Winnie, no, they don't. And honestly, like, every time I post a car accident video, I'm like, here goes another car accident reel. Like, people are going to get bored of this story. But honestly, like, that's your story and that is you. And that will never get boring, or people will never get fed up with that. And like, that is your power, Winnie. Like, that is your power and that is who you are. Like, you embrace that. Like, Pascal, you embrace your stuff that you have been through that is making, that you're so open about. Your traumas that you've been through that you are so open about. You embrace that. Like, you're never gonna get a different story than that. That's your story. That's your DNA. Winnie, like, that's your story. That's your life. Like, you're never gonna change it. Like, no one's gonna get bored, okay? So it's just like, it's part of us. It's part of who we are. And if you have a story and a story of triumph, then you keep sharing it and keep talking about it, because honestly, like, there'll still be people that don't know. And there'll still be people that need to be aware, and there'll still be people that will find so much inspiration from you. And that's the thing. You're not doing it for the masses. You're doing it for the one person who needed to hear your story that day. And that is another key thing. Okay, if you're ever sharing some kind of story about triumph or struggle, you're not sharing it for the masses. You're sharing it for the one person. Okay? Product-based businesses. I'm sorry, that was a big tangent, but I still have a couple more ideas. Product-based businesses on your content. Okay, so how can you show your physical premises? How can you show how an item is packaged? How can you show that things that people might not know about your brand that they need to know? Stories about your brand that are positioned about the other person. Okay, so it's always got to come from a place of them and not you. Here's how this jacket is available to help you. Here's how this exercise that I can teach you is going to help you. Here's how my story of struggle will help you. Everything's about them. Okay, so just for the last 5 minutes, we will do time management. So time management, anyone who comes into the members club will be encouraged to take the time management training. There is a time management training. Abby, Equestrian Lodge Limited, she's not in this group, she's in the members club. So Abby, some of you know Abby. Abby is a mum with a husband. She has a business. She has another business. She has a family to run. She has a massive whacking great premises. I don't even know, like, is it a yard? I don't even know what it is. And she has 2 kids. So she has, I don't know how old her children are, Lenny and Olivia, but I know that one of them they're both really young children, okay? So can you imagine, she comes into the members club over a year ago and she's like, I don't know, like, how the hell I'm going to grow this business to where I want it, and how the hell I'm going to start creating content on social media and feed my children and, look, you know, like, be a good wife to my husband and have a nice relationship with him and run the house. And honestly, I taught her time management, and you can see I think the testimonial, actually, I don't know if that part of the testimonial is on the website, but anyway, I changed her life. I changed her life. I can say that because she told me, and she told me last week. And I knew that I did. So I changed her life a year ago, and honestly, she has now been able to expand her business, grow her business across the country, do things that she never believed that were possible for her, all because she learned how to manage her time. And the exact time management training that Abby has been through is available to everyone who comes into the members club. And that is the first training that I'll encourage you to watch. And people in the members club, if you haven't watched the time management training yet, go and watch it, because it's really good. Like, it's really, really very good. So I know that there's going to be lots of people who can relate to that with the kids and the family and everything else. And there's also going to be some people that don't have kids and don't have a family, and it's going to help you as well. So Chloe, you can jump into the time management training and just understand how to actually map it out, and map out your weeks. But I won't go into the full time management because I can't. But what I will say about managing your time really is, this isn't so much managing your time, it's more working smart and not hard. But batch your content. I know a lot of you know that already, but batch your content once a week is going to be best. I used to say batch like 2 weeks in advance, 30 days in advance. I wouldn't do that anymore. I would probably batch 1 week in advance, and I would sit down on the sofa, would take some time, plan out what you're actually going to create. Okay, so 7 bits of content I've got to create. Then ask yourself, what 1 to 3 things do I want to talk about and focus on Instagram this week? Okay, what 1 to 3 things do I want to make content around? Then from those 1 to 3 things, you can start generating 7 content ideas. Okay, it just needs to be up to 3 topics. It might be my journey to slimming down my obese horse, might be one. And your second one might be outfits I'm getting ready to wear for autumn, like something like that. And then all of a sudden you could start creating easily 7 pieces of content from those things. Okay, so batch creating is going to work really well for you. Batch filming, if you can batch film in one go. If you're doing reels every day, batch film them if possible. I will take multiple outfits down to the stable. Like, you'll not see me just making one reel when I go and film my reels. I have a bag of outfits and I will do some outfit changes. Bob's your uncle. I've got 30 bits of content and they look like they were filmed all on different days. So you've got to be smart and clever, and that's what it's all about. Get smart. Don't work any harder. Like, you don't need to work any harder. Like, no one needs to work any harder. The TikTok trends do move fast, but the great thing about TikTok is that it's less effort. It's so quick. Like, you don't need to make it so beautiful and perfect and stunning. It's just quantity on TikTok. Okay? And what I really want you to think is that it's your social media is your stage. And if you're going out on stage every day, don't waste that opportunity. Like, just don't waste that opportunity, because you have a stage of billions of people, and you not making the time to plan and map out your content is wasting your opportunity on your stage. Oh, Laura's in the members club. Oh, I'm so pleased. That's amazing. You're going to absolutely love it. So many of you are in the members club now. I actually just stopped updating the little thing that I had going on in this group, because there's so many of you have joined. I'm so pleased. And to be honest, like, the way you are enjoying this kind of chat and just like listening to me, but chatting in the comments with each other, that's what it's like every Monday, isn't it, Pascal and Karina? Like, that's what it's like every single Monday. Like, we just sit and chat and we check in and we have a nice time, and it's lovely. So yeah, that is it. Make the time to prioritize. Don't suffer with the instant gratification. Okay, that's the downfall. Obviously, guys, you have, what's the time? You have until 11 p.m. tonight to join the members club. Tomorrow, I'm opening the members club to everyone else. It's going to be £27 a month, and I am thinking it will likely, next time I launch it, open the doors, it may well increase to £29 a month, because basically every single month I add a new masterclass. So every single month, the value of the members club increases. So it's not right to keep the members club at the same price all year round, because it wouldn't be fair on the people that come in, like you guys, like come in now at this point. You know, if someone came in 6 months time and they paid the same as you, they're getting, like, even though you may still be in, you're getting the same, but like they're paying for more. Do you see what I mean? So I don't want you to like miss this opportunity, because it's a really crazy price that I've done it. It's a really crazy price that I've done it at, but I wanted to do it at this price. Like, you'll see when you join how fucking incredible it is. And I said that last night. Like, it's literally like, I've worked on it all summer. I've worked on it for 2 years. And then this summer, it was like, right, this is the thing that is absolutely changing the game. Like, it's changing the game. And meeting like this every Monday is so therapeutic for every single person involved. Like, you don't have to come every Monday. You don't have to come every Monday. You can join the members club. Some of my members I never even really see, because they come in, they want the trainings, and then they want to go about their day. Some of my members come in and, like, Karina will be there every single Monday, because really Karina wants the support from me and she wants the support from the community, and everything else is secondary. Some people will come in and they love the goals. So Kazan really loves the goals. Not one member comes in and uses every single feature, but equally you can. But then equally you don't have to. Like, there's so much going on that it's for everyone. I'm so excited that you're in as well. Yeah, so it was £197 to join, £27 a month, but I've had a few messages saying, what's the joining fee? There is no joining fee. I took it away for you guys. So it's £19. You pay £19, and then it's £19 every month until you cancel. It'll never go up. The price, you're locked in. You're locked in. And yeah, it's the best. I can't really say anymore, because I honestly don't see online another membership that's as good as what we have created. And I say we because, like, the people in the members club make it as well. Like, it's a good vibe to be in. Really, really good vibe. And it's also super important that you surround yourself with people who want to succeed and people who have the same goals as you. And one thing I've really noticed is that if you have a goal and no one in your friendship group or no one in your family understands where you want to go, the chances of you carrying on and continuing for the long term are quite slim. So it's like surrounding yourself with people who get it. Your chances of actually succeeding are a lot higher. And it's a very private, safe space. Like, you guys don't know this, but I really do vet people who come in, and there's been some cases where people haven't been allowed in. Like, I'll be honest, because it's a safe space, and I'm not, like, the members club is so personal, and I talk about very personal things. The members talk about very personal things, and it's got to be a safe community. So it's like, like, this isn't just a free-for-all, everyone come in, like, you know, like, it's wild in there. It's not. It's very, very, very safe, and it's very close. And if you want to, you can post to the wall anonymously as well. So there is a feature, there's a tutorial in the members club. You can post anonymously if there's a real problem that you're having. None of the criteria that you need to worry about. None of the criteria. Basically, if I can't identify you as a person, and I can't figure out who you are, if you're real, if your account's real, then you ain't coming in. You're not coming in. There's been a couple of times where I've just been unsure and I've refunded people. But I know you guys are all real. So yeah, just know I am behind the scenes. We are behind the scenes doing the chats, doing due diligence, because yeah, it's not good to kill the vibe, and we've got such a good vibe in there, and I'm not letting anything affect it. it's a very precious place for me. Sonia, I want to start my own non-horsey business in the near future. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. And Laura, yeah, like most people are equestrian in the members club, but then like there's a couple of people that actually aren't. So I try and make the content equal and fair, but you know, business is business. Social media is social media, whether you're horsey or not. But yeah, you know, it helps that I have an understanding of the equestrian world because us equestrians are a slightly different breed. Oh, I'm so pleased. Okay, so that's really it. Our winners for the competitions. I will post this in the group because I know some people haven't seen it. But so we had RC Deegan. I need to post that in the group. That was the winner of the first competition. Then our second winner of the competition, which was the ambassador. So the person that was talking about it on social media, putting it in their stories, is Emily Wood. Emily Wood, are you here? My Life Eventing. Emily Wood is the ambassador. Emily really actually excelled in the talking about the talking about their training on Instagram. And yeah, I really was so grateful. And I think you got a couple of people into the group as well, which was really nice. So well done. And then our final prize. So this is, you're winning social media school, by the way. I will enroll you all manually over the next couple of days. And then the community member prize is Sonia. Sonia, well done. Sonia, the horsey mummy and daughter. Sonia, I know you're here. Sonia, you have shown up. I mean, I know you've all shown up live every day, and honestly, like, kills me doing this. Like, sometimes I think it's probably better if I don't run competitions because I'm far too sensitive. I don't like letting people down. But Sonia, I just thought the dedication that you were at Burley today and you still determined to come here. I was like, girl, that's incredible. So well done. I will announce this into the Facebook group and you will get access to the social media school over the next few days. And you have it for life. And it's a really good course. I think it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you now, guys. Last call for the members club. All the information's on the website. I will be on my DMs until 11 o'clock tonight, because obviously I'm going to switch the page off at 11 o'clock. So you can't sneak in. But 11 p.m. tonight. £19 a month. You really can't argue with that because I'm biased, but it's amazing. So I'll put the link, I'll share the link, so you can join, come and join. So many have joined. I can't wait to continue this journey with you guys. I've got to try and turn this off. So yeah, message me if you're not sure about the members club. Message me if you've got any questions on Instagram, and you're so welcome. It's just been the best few days. Tomorrow, if it's okay, I'm going to post a post. And I'm going to ask you if you could summarize like this event in one word, or if you have more than one word, like maybe write me a sentence, and then I can just understand like how impactful it actually was for you, because then I can decide like, is it worth doing again? Like, did people like this stuff? Like that kind of thing. So yeah, that will go into the group tomorrow. So I'd be super grateful if you could just take 1 second to just do that. Thank you guys, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry, it was an hour and 40 minutes, but you know, thank you and have a good evening. Hopefully see all of you inside the members club.